how much money do you need to keep this quality life?
Yeah.
How can I afford this life? We don't want Annie to see this in the podcast because I've heard lately French people is super good. Welcome to Unfiltered with Silvia, the podcast from Nine Co-Living. Dive into the Nomad life and explore Tenerife. Connect with our amazing community and enjoy the local island vibe. Expect honest conversations and unexpected questions. Stay curious, stay unfiltered. Hola chicos y chicas! Hi again, I'm super happy you are still here. Today we have Hanna Bonita, I call her. Who's Hanna? Hanna is she from the UK, digital nomad since end of 2018, web and product designer. She loves traveling, she loves Notion, she loves math, and she loves coming to Nine every other time. Didn't forget. She loves dogs and me. And tea, as you can see, some tea. But before we go to this, if you are not watching, but if you are listening, we have a tray with things that we will disclose. But you can guess that. Well, let's change it because we like to change. Hanna, what is this? Is this a gift to me by any chance?
So not the mugs, they belong to Nine. But so I was like, a very British thing is a teapot, English breakfast tea.
Don't dare.
And then often we'd have, if you were just going around your friend's house, you'd have tea and biscuits. But I was like, no, this is really fancy. So I got cakes from Casagon.
I love Casagon.
And then I also thought, today is my grandma's birthday, who is also called Silvia. So we are celebrating Silvia.
I didn't know that.
But yeah. So I was like, oh.
Amazing. I really love. And how do you call this?
Teapot.
Teapot. Pot, claro. This is the gift, no? This is a real gift.
Like this is just a really tacky one. It says llama on
it. says llama, but I read Hanna, so it's even more special. And I don't have a teapot.
They really have to buy it because people have.
But are you sure then this is a gift to me?
Yes.
Okay. Did you buy it here?
It's for you, Silvia. I'm not going to travel with it.
You could be surprised of weird things people travel with.
What did your camera do? Hot mess.
So as a super British, you don't travel with a teapot?
No, but I tend to travel with lots of tea bags because
I am British.
So I'll pour them out and then ask me questions.
Yes, Hanna, I always start asking if you remember how did we meet. Normally it's here at 9, but if you remember the situation, I don't actually. I remember things, but I don't remember when exactly or how. Or maybe you can refresh it.
So I came in August of 2020 for the post-lockdown crew.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't here.
You weren't here, but I'd heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember the first time I met you.
No?
I just can't remember the pinpoint. In my head, it had always been here.
Yeah, well, what I remember is when I started working here, I was super nervous, super lost in the house. Because Hanna was already here, and I don't know if you know Hanna or you already what you have seen so far, she's super cute, super kind, and she was always you were always very helpful to me. Like, I was like, Hanna, I know I'm the host here, but can you please tell me where are the blankets? And she was like, for sure. And then you were always super welcoming with me, and then you became part of the team for a while, for 3 months, but yeah, long time ago, eh? Time flies.
So fast.
Super fast.
You had a baby and having another one in that time. That's crazy.
But we're still the same.
Yes.
A little bit. Bueno, and I'm going with the interview already. I think I have really cool questions. The first question, you work as a self-employed, so you can choose your shift for working, right? I heard, but correct me if this is not true, that you have some interesting hours where you, at least you used to be more productive. Do you? Like, do you have some hours where you are like,
Yes. So I used to, when I first came to Nine, I was working a lot more with US clients.
mm-hmm.
So I used to work from about 3 p.m. and then I could be in the office till midnight or something.
But were you really productive at that time?
No.
Because what I heard, it was like you were productive, let's say from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then in the evening. Super weird.
I'm still like this. So I can wake up really early, have a good shift of work, and then I just need to sleep.
Yeah.
Or like go for a walk or a hike or something, and then go back to it in the evening. And it's really like unsociable, you know? It's not.
Bueno, it depends how you want to see it, because you can also divide, and in the mornings you can socialize a bit, and
This is true.
And it's super cool. You can choose when to work, and also you have to be very, ¿cómo se dice? Like strong, because you are your own boss. So you have to say, no, Hannah, I have to work.
Yes.
I want to procrastinate, but I have to work.
I think that's the hardest thing, especially here when people are saying, oh, do you want to go for a hike? Do you want to go to the beach? I'm like, yes, I really do. I do want to go to the beach, but sometimes I have to say no.
Yeah, you have to pay 9, no? Bueno, next question. Because, for example, when I don't travel as much as you do, I only travel for holidays. But when I travel, I'm very sensitive, so it really affects my digestion and my poop. I cannot poop for the first 3 days. The poop stays here, and then poop. Yeah, there are questions. There are questions, and this is one of it. But it's very light. How traveling affects your digestion and your poop. I think this is super interesting for all of you, because you probably have it. You all have, but you don't talk about it. And if you have any tip, like eat oats, or for example, for me, eating oats with milk and a coffee, I go to the toilet for sure.
Yeah, I think keeping your routine, your coffee routine, your eating routine, is important, because get a coffee in the morning, a good strong coffee, and.
But does it affect when you're traveling? Do you notice any difference, or because your routine is now traveling, you don't feel it?
Never really thought about it that much. I mean, how much do I want to share with the internet? That's well, I've always had some stomach issues, so it's just part of traveling as well. Like in Mexico, constant stomach issues. So it's just part of life there.
Yeah.
But with travel, I think if you can stick to your routine, I think coffee is the answer.
Coffee is the answer. Yeah. And people who smokes and drink coffee, they say it's perfect. Like they have a coffee, they smoke, and then they poop for sure. So if you have any issues, try to pass to the unhealthy life, like have a cigarette, and maybe you solve something and you earn like another issue. But life is like about choosing.
After that beautiful question, do you want some cake?
No, I'm gonna wait, but I will. I don't want to make people jealous. Hannah, how complicated is to travel being vegan and gluten free? Plus, you are traveling now with your boyfriend who is not vegan. He loves meat actually, and he eats everything. So I don't know. Does it ever actually affect to your relationship? Like he say, Hannah, I want a burger from McDonald's. Like meat.
It's interesting because
Right? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's like multi-part. So,
See.
So when I met Matt, I mean, before I met Matt, I thought, oh no, I'm only going to have a boyfriend who's like vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian now, so because it was so hard.
Claro, if you have to only look for vegan, it's
the gluten-free part.
Ideally, vegan and gluten-free was ideal, no?
Yeah.
A partner.
So being vegetarian, I thought, oh, I'm only going to do something who's vegetarian. And then I meet Matt, and the fact that he eats meat just doesn't bother me. I thought it would bother me a lot more. Not at all. And also, it's nice, for example, when we're co-living or we meet other people traveling, because you can go and get a steak with them or something. Or
So it doesn't affect your relationship at all?
No, I think it's more sadness of like we can't go into a normal restaurant and share dishes. Mostly because of the gluten. I'd say being gluten free is a lot harder than being vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because
do you find hard then, like when you're traveling, to look for a place without gluten or like?
Yeah, it's like you can't just be as spontaneous. And just you're on a motorbike trip and you just pull up somewhere for lunch and you have to plan a bit more, which is not as fun.
Yeah.
And I think I feel sad, and then Matt feels sad for me because I'm like, I would love to eat a donut or
donuts. I love donuts.
Or like a pizza, an authentic Italian pizza. So I think that's the hardest part. But I mean, we have friends that have way worse allergies that could be really serious if they accidentally eat it. So
yeah, it could always be worse, right? Bueno, another question. Let's talk a little bit about the UK and the Brexit, but I'm not going into the details because I know you don't feel like. But let's talk a little bit how it's affected to your life, what you had to give up because of the Brexit, what you had to do to keep doing what you like, which is traveling, because Brexit, of course, affected to many people. So you can share maybe a little bit while you're talking. I try.
This is the gluten-free one.
Ah, yeah, that's for you.
This is the
all of these are for me. For Bridget.
Well, yeah, you're Bridget. And then we can just share them with whoever's downstairs afterwards if they were eyeing them up.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So while you're talking, I eat a little bit because also the noise is not good for the mic, and I'm trying to be professional.
Okay, or you take a snack break. Or you take home for her mum and
No, her mum is okay. Her mum is okay. I want to try this.
I could have had cake.
Yeah, but he's okay. He's super sporty and yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the Brexit. Whatever you want to share, but share a bit your experience and your feelings. And
I think the biggest difference with Brexit now is the Schengen days. So I think before Brexit, nobody in the UK or in Europe really ever knew about it or talked about it because you could just spend as long as you wanted in Europe and not have to calculate how many days you stayed. Whereas when Brexit happened, you then have a 90-day every 180 days. You can be in the Schengen zone, which is most of Europe. Really. There's a few exceptions. So that was the hardest thing because Europe's beautiful. Spend time in Europe. And then also Tenerife as well had to then make the decision to get residency, just not stay so long. My residency was rejected, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was a big drama because when Brexit happened, we had some breaks, not only you, but here at night. And I remember this was a full drama, a lot of crying.
Yes.
And also because you were really happy here, you found like your place, you didn't want to leave.
Yes.
And then what happened is Matt got the residency, but you didn't.
Yes.
And so you were like really
sad. I mean, honestly, I think
and you couldn't get married with him because he was also British.
Yeah.
The only option was with me, and I said, Hannah, let's see it.
You travel the world and you end up with a boy from London.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Our passports are great. But it's actually a blessing because
that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Because maybe now you're exploring other areas, right? Of the world.
Because if the residency had gone through, maybe I would have travelled so much. So the last couple of years, since end of 2021, we've travelled to Mexico and Asia and just we've done so many things that we might not have done if we had residency and stayed.
Yeah, you made the most of the situation, and it's really good.
Yeah.
In Spanish, we say todo pasa por algo. Maybe in English, you say like everything happens for something.
Yes.
Everything
happens for a reason.
For a reason. Yeah. And I believe, like, apart from the death, everything you can solve it, no?
Yeah. So,
Yes.
nothing in the sky.
Thanks to the UK. We have a cup of tea.
Yeah. I don't even know if you like tea. It's more of a signal.
I like tea, but I have also a special feeling with the tea, because when I moved back from Berlin to Tenerife, I started working in this tax consultancy company that was specialized in the UK. And my boss loves tea. And every morning, when I started working, he offered me the cup of tea with milk. And I loved it because I wasn't used to that. And I started drinking always tea and tea and tea with milk. And one day I was like, I'm done. I'm done with the tea. I can't anymore. And then I changed to coffee. And I didn't have. But I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if it's because you prepared it to me, or maybe it was. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you, Hannah. You're so British. I love, because you are a real British friend that I never thought to have. That's a good thing that Nine brought me, actually. Like friends from everywhere.
Yeah.
Bueno, now we move and we will talk about Matt. Specifically, your love. You met him at 9. And well, since then you've been together for how many years now?
3.5.
3.5. I remember when you met Matt, it was also the time at 9. It was, so you can locate yourself a bit, it was after COVID. So the house was a bit like the hormones in the house, you could feel it. No, there were many romances. It was more like an Erasmus experience where, like, I am always off on the weekends, and every morning when I was coming to line, I found out a new love story. Sometimes was a love story, was a sex story. The dramas. But it was super fun. But actually, in your case, it wasn't like this sex story. It's a real, true love story. But of course, it affected to your life because you were traveling before alone. So the question is, Hannah, do you find harder or easier to travel with someone, like to make arrangement, to everything? And if you miss anything from your single life?
Oh, okay. So first part.
Matt won't listen this for sure.
Okay, he will, and then he'll laugh at me. So the first part is, what's easier is that as a woman traveling, when I used to travel alone, I wouldn't like to go out at night so much alone, or I'd think a lot more about the areas I was in.
Your
safety, safety, and also I wouldn't do as many adventures. Whereas with Matt, because he's an adventurous person, and he pushes me outside my comfort zone sometimes, which is
beautiful,
something I really love about him. And also just being with somebody else while you travel, whether that's a friend or a partner, you feel a lot safer. And I think that's something that's quite important to me. It's just something that naturally happens traveling with somebody else. So that's a really plus side.
Plus sharing the cost?
Sharing the cost, yes.
No, but yeah, that's
sharing the cost of hiring a car or an apartment or anything is better.
And because when you're traveling, because you're really like a truly nomad, you don't have a base. When you travel that much, sometimes I think you can feel alone or lost. And when you're with someone for so long, you share all of everything, no? Missing the family, but maybe missing a home, maybe not. When you feel I don't know, when you have the period and you are more down, you have someone to share all of this, no?
Yeah, definitely.
That's easier.
So there's the plus side. There's also negatives of traveling together, which I think any nomad couple will feel, because you are together a lot more than a normal couple.
Mm-hmm.
We both work remotely, so we might be in a coffee shop, and then we'll might go to a co-working space together,
Mm-hmm.
eat dinner together, and instead of having a separate life during the day,
Mm-hmm.
often you end up spending a lot more time
Yeah.
together. Which I think more recently we've realised is something we need to really be conscious of,
Mm-hmm.
of keeping our own lives and interests
Mm-hmm.
and things, so that it keeps us stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, this is to wake up.
I think another hard part was that I used to want to plan and have everything super organised.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of that is the safety aspect as well of travel, of knowing where you're going to be, and having all plans.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Matt is the opposite. They will choose where they're going tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
and book it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much more last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for us, that's something that we have to really manage, because I like to plan, he likes to be last minute, and we have to compromise sometimes.
But I think this is in all the couples. We need to make adjustments, and we are in Spanish again. We all say we are all from our mom and our dad, which means we are raised in some aspects like. And then when you meet someone, when you know someone, when you're in a couple, you have to adjust these two homes together to build something new, and you do have to do adjustments. And to your ego, you have to put it lower because you want to be with that person, and then you have to. And it's beautiful again, but sometimes hard. And what do you miss of your single life? Flirting, dating.
No, I never really flirted. No, I don't miss dating.
No, having sex with strangers.
No, I think
Poor girl. She's super British, super polite.
I don't know.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to.
More introverted time, but no, not really.
I will ask you again in 5 years to see what you miss the most.
Yes.
Yeah. Bueno, next question. Yeah. Let me read it a little bit because this is from Rebecca. Like, Rebecca sent me two questions because we were talking about your interview and we were a bit curious how it's like to live without a home, because we see you very stable, very focused, that we think it's quite of an achievement to be a true nomad, because some people have like they are nomads but they still have like their home, but in your case you don't. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are the hardest times? If you meet, what do you need? What do you miss the most? What makes you keep in this life? What makes you like I want to? And how long do you think you will keep doing the same? There are many questions, but it's about the same, right? Like the true nomad life.
Yeah. Okay.
We're curious.
So I would say that. What was the first question in that question?
The first one was the hardest times you had as a true nomad. What do you miss the most?
Okay. I think the hardest times is actually when you compare yourself to others. Because I think Silvia lives on a finca. She has her man and her dogs and a house, and where I think about my friends back home, and they have things that I would like. I'd love to have a dog. It's not really feasible right now. Have plants, random things, but then thinking, oh, you actually have such a freedom, and they would think the same of your life.
Yeah.
So But I think comparing yourself, especially to other people of your age,
Mm-hmm.
that's the hardest part, and I can get quite bogged down with that sometimes.
Yeah, I think many people who are watching or listening this will feel the same as you, right?
Yes, yeah. We all compare ourselves.
Yeah, we all compare. I compare sometimes to you. Like, I wish I was Hannah. I wish I made this decision, but
it's very chaotic, you know.
if we could have two lives at least, right?
Yeah.
And be aware of both.
Yes. It's not always easy. It's quite chaotic and unsettled feeling sometimes being a nomad because you don't know what's coming, and it's hard to plan for the future or visualize what your future is going to look like because it can change so much. And yeah, you just have so many unknowns. I think I struggle a lot with that.
Yeah.
So it might look like it's put together, but it's not.
And how do you manage to always at least look like very focused, very quiet, very, I don't know, sí, centradita, I would say, like centradita. Happy, stable, healthy,
And
keeping your digestion and your poop healthy and nice. How do you keep it?
I don't think I think it ebbs and flows, and there's certain things that I know now that I need in order to keep this stability. And I think that's the reason I came to Nine for a few weeks, because I knew I needed more community and more sunlight, even though it's freezing cold today. More sunshine and more nature and hiking. And these are the things that, and a good workspace, and these things are going to like ground me again. Yeah. So I just knew that I needed this. Yeah. So I think basically the secret is to get to know yourself very well, to know who are you, what do you need, what do you like, and what you don't have to do, like because others do, right? Because there is a lot of posturing in this world. I think like I have to visit so many places. And you do it. You do visit many places, but sometimes you're like, but I need to slow down. Yes, definitely. I don't have to. So maybe get to know you better and don't. Yeah, and that also comes with comparison. Again, yeah. Others, then you're going to feel like that. So I think that's the secret to it, and really, coming home to yourself. I think is the secret. And yeah, how long to travel for? I mean, I think at least a few more years. But yeah, eventually. You will know one day. I'm not happy anymore, or I need a break, or eventually, kids and. But this goes in another question. No worries, no worries. Hannah, I was told I have been a bit light in my last interview. So light, kind, because I'm unfiltered, and then when I'm in the lounges, people say, Silvia, you should have asked this in the podcast. But I also like to be kind and respectful, and I also prepare the interviews, and I want them to be also interesting for you if you're listening. So I want to mix, and I will improve. But I'm sorry, Hannah, because I need to make the audience happy. Oh, no. So I go with a spicy question to you. Not a spicy question. But you know what? Because I like you so much, you are one of my favorites. I let you choose between two options. Okay. The first question, it's related to sex. Okay. And the second question is related to money. You choose money or sex? How spicy is spicy? I'm not going to reply to this. Sex or money? Or both? Let's do both. Oh, wow. Sex. Hannah. Well, it's have you ever had sex with different nationalities? And if not, or if yes, what's your opinion about having sex with different nationalities? Okay. Oh, that's a nice question. It's a nice question. Because I've heard lately that boom, French people is super good at having sex. I don't know. I don't have an opinion because I never tried yet. I don't know if in the future me and Herman we are not
if me and Herman, we are not, Herman is doing well, but if in the future we don't, I'm gonna start trying things.
With French.
French, apparently it's good. Latins, but what's your opinion?
Okay.
We were laughing yesterday.
We were talking about this yesterday when I was
by accident. Yeah.
I only ever it was British guys.
British guys.
Yeah.
And then I asked her, like, Hannah, are British guys very polite as well when having sex? Like, excuse me, may I touch your butt? May I kiss your pussy?
No. Every British guy out there will say absolutely not. No, I mean.
What do you think? I think there are some differences, no?
I feel like we need to do a survey.
We have to
investigate this further because I don't know.
Yeah. Guys, maybe you can give us some feedback if you had some experiences. Like, comment below. I want to know it. What's your please do. Because I heard Greek people was good, but I only heard this one, so I don't know how true is that.
Yeah.
French, some people told me that.
I just wonder if it's I don't see. Here's my opinion. I think it's about your attraction, your feeling with that person, rather than a person being good. That may just be my opinion.
I don't know. Bueno. And then the other question, because we are light, money. It's so I think the kind of life you have actually requires a lot of money. My question is, how much money do you need to make to be able? I mean, to keep this quality life.
Yeah.
How can I afford this life?
Yes.
How much money at least you have to? Oh, well, you don't have to talk about amount. I'm not asking you how much money you have in your bank account. I could, but yeah, how can I afford this life? You have to.
I think that really
really approves the question. I'm getting better.
Yeah. I think it really depends on where you want to live, but it's getting more expensive everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, when I started in end of 2018, I flew to Thailand, and I stayed in a hostel that had a co-working space.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing, and it was £7, so what, €8 a night.
Super cheap, yeah.
And we got breakfast and a lunch. So life was super cheap, and I think you can travel very cheap, but now it's just getting more and more.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of flights, for example, to Tenerife used to be £40, then it's about £50, but now they're more like 100, unless you fly in the middle of the night. So I think everywhere it's a lot more. It also depends on how quickly you travel. Because if you live somewhere for 1 month or 2 months and you get a month rate on a place, that's a lot less than hopping.
Well, the truth is you don't have a rent or a mortgage in the UK, so maybe your costs are. But what's your, let's say, because you don't have a budget, right? You say I cannot go over this, or more or less. Do you know how much you spend per month as an average? You don't. You should have like a spreadsheet.
But it changes so much per month. So depending on where you are. So we normally try and say, I just even think it's just so dependent on where, like in Thailand, for example, our apartment was 250.
How much?
€250 maybe. And the same in Bulgaria. So we would then budget that, and then we'd say, okay, then groceries on top of that, maybe €100 a week or something else. So we'd create a budget like that. So, for example, in Bulgaria or Thailand, you could live on €1,000 or €2,000 a month, but in Europe, I think you need more.
Yeah, especially if you go to France or because it's more expensive, right?
Yes. I wish there was like an answer, but I think it's one of the harder things as well. Like at home, friends have a budget and they know how much things are going to cost. I think that's a hard part of Nomad life.
Yeah. But is it expensive?
I think it looks expensive, but we don't have rent or anything back home. Yeah.
So maybe you spend a month. I'm gonna say a number like €1,000.
Yeah, probably more.
Probably more.
Yeah, most likely. Probably at least €2,000 a month.
2,000 euros a month. Yeah, not everyone can afford this, right?
But it really depends on where you go.
Yeah.
It really depends.
Yeah, but then you also have to see the impact where you go, right? Because as we talked before, like the nomads do an impact, and if you have your salary, you can afford this. And so yeah, but it's good to know. It's very good to know. Thank you for sharing. Maybe I ask this more often to people, like, how much do you spend? How much money do you have in your bank account?
I kind of want to do. I kind of want to do a spreadsheet now and really look at how much I'm spending in each country.
Please do.
Yeah, because Matt and I have a shared spreadsheet that when he fills it out, Matthew fill out the spreadsheet.
Yeah, please, Matt, share in Notion better than you share with me. But it's very interesting, I think. Maybe someone, again, maybe if someone knows, someone like a German probably who's very accurate, send me the numbers. I want to know how much money you, like you spend the most and you spend the least, and then we have the average.
Yeah, I'm not a real
How's the Nomad life? But that means you have a lot of money. If you don't care about the money, you have money. No, but you are fine. You don't have this issue.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Hanna, last two questions. What are your life goals? Having a dog, having a house, or not? Traveling your whole life, traveling half of the year, getting married, being a super sporty person, do a marathon. What are your life goals?
Okay, let me listen. Dog. Dog is first life goal because
an adopted dog.
I would love to rescue a dog. I kind of feel like, okay, in a very woo-woo kind of way, I just want to put it out there to the universe. You know, I want a dog, and I want that dog to come to me. Maybe it's a lost dog in the forest, and then it finds me.
You know what? I had this dream. I had this life goal. I have 3 dogs. Be careful what you manifest.
So a lovely dog. I would love to be a mum one day, but definitely not anywhere in the near future. Because our life is chaotic and random. I would love to eventually have a base somewhere, but still have a very...
Not in the UK?
No. But travel a lot, spend more time with family. I'd like to build my freelance business a lot more. And yeah, and I'd like to go out of my comfort zone a lot more, especially socially and things. I think there's a lot of goals around there. Yeah. I had this also lately because since I am with Herman, he also taught me to, I don't know, to go out a lot of my comfort zone. I'm very scared of many things. And he's always like, he's super sporty. So he's like, Silvia, let's go with the mountain bike super fast. And I'm like, but I'm going to fall. Then we do it. Or I don't know, but we teach each other. And next year, I want to next year, but end of next year, and I will share why in the next 2 interviews. I'm gonna share why. But next year, end of next year, I would love to sign up for a race, but with obstacles. So I really want to go out from my comfort zone because I already feel strong, but I never saw myself as a strong person, and now I want to say, I'm Silvia, I'm strong. Hi, nice to meet you. Because I never identify. Yeah, I saw it like in other people. Nice. And last question. That's not a spicy question. No worries. It was light actually, so I have to be even stronger with the. Yeah, no, but with the next person, your interview is almost done. But it's very gentle, and Rebecca also helped me with that because I was talking with her about you again, and she told me, well, we all everyone as a child we were different normally as we are right now as an adults. And she told me I also knew, like as a child, you told her you were more insecure, more sensitive, right? You were different. Like if we compare now, Hanna, the traveler, the independent. So Hanna, what advice would you give to the Hanna as a child?
Because she told me. Actually, Rebecca said, right now you are living a life that requires a lot of courage, strength, independence, etc. So, what would you say to that Hannah who looked more insecure and more fragile? What's the beautiful note that was from Rebecca?
That's beautiful. You should ask everybody that. That's lovely.
Yeah, what would you say to your kid, to Hannah, the kid?
I would say,
you can cry if you want.
No, for everybody. I think I would reassure her and encourage her a lot more that she can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I think I would cheer her on because I think she didn't have that in herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would maybe push her a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I used to give up a lot in many things. Like, I remember I was playing tennis when I was a kid, and I think it was good, but I had these times when I don't know how to say en la salida, when you had to start the game. I was not very good, and then I gave up.
Yeah.
And my dad tried to push a little bit, but I felt the pressure, and I was like, no, I don't want. Maybe I was a really good tennis player, but because I give up, I never really go farther. So I don't have these values of a sport that makes you keep doing things and be more secure and
the confidence to not give up.
Hey.
Yeah, so I think my younger self needed that.
Yeah. You would have you will be proud of the adult Hannah. Nice, Hannah. We are done with the interview. The last part is these 9 rapid questions where you have to choose, but the questions are done. So let's go for it because we are already 40 minutes, so we want to pass, no? Quick. Okay, Hannah, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First, mat or dog?
Mat.
Eat something with gluten or having migraines?
Migraine.
Mm-hmm. Apple or Android?
Apple.
No, Apple because Matt. Asia or Europe?
Asia.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Asia or Tenerife?
Tenerife.
Risco or Lara? I'm sorry. I don't care. It's okay. You can reply.
Risco because it's cuddly.
Risco is one of my dogs. She loves it. Sorry, Anne. She chose.
I love Laura. I love you too, but you don't.
See, I mean, at least the question was about first me or Anne, but I said
that's too hard.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm afraid. But yeah, you chose Risco, so maybe you have chosen me. Okay, hike or beach?
Hike.
Traditional notebook or Notion?
Notebook.
Notebook. Done?
My hands are
How do you feel? How was the interview?
It was fun.
Was fun. Did you? It was our first podcast. How would you rank it?
10 out of 10.
Nice.
You were kind.
I was kind.
You were kind. I thought you were going to be less kind.
Yeah, people think that. But to finish now, if you really want to listen me, to have these unfiltered questions and random, you have to come and see me. That's the only way. Yeah. I'm sorry.
She's a babe.
Yeah. So you have to come and see me. Bueno, we are done for today. Thank you for staying, for listening. I always say the same. If you like it, please say it. Don't like, ¿cómo se dice? If you don't want to say, if you want to say something rude, keep it at home. Don't share it. We don't want to. And that's it. See you another time. Ciao. Was good, no?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more unfiltered conversations. If you like this episode, make sure you give us a 5-star review and follow us on social media for more.